with total commitment and dedication, rip their arms out of their sockets. And I mean that figuratively, because that's where the real power is spiritually. And then taking that spiritual energy, that truth, and pouring it into the enemy by the force of will, just leaning our weight against them. You want to suffocate us? We're going to lean against you with total dedication and commitment of victory over you. Because I have seen it, I have witnessed things that you cannot believe. If I told you, and I have told you, you cannot understand until you've seen it. One cannot be told about evil. You have to experience it first. I had a devil went down to Georgia experience yesterday. I was driving along through the country and came to this low water crossing. And there, parked on their motorcycle, sitting there in the sunshine with birds tweeting, was a very famous person who's known for being evil. And I stopped and I looked out the window and he said, "Finally we meet." And I pulled over and got out and talked to the person. And it was just bizarre. Maybe I'll get him on the show sometime. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the spirit world is real. The New World Order is real. And the slow, tortured murder of our children is real. You know, they tell you 52 million aborted babies since 74. The year I was born. Roe v. Wade was what, 73, went into place the next year. It's taken 52 million Americans and blasted them into infinity. They don't get to go to school. They don't get to be cool. But now the eugenicists, the heads of major universities, Peter Singer and others say, the heads of major departments, we're going to get rid of babies up to age 3. And Bill Gates laughs and says, we don't give grandma treatment, you get 10 jobs. And the women, the teachers, ooh, they clap. Jack Bauer tortures somebody's kid in front of him in a simulated torture to get the answers, and he saves the day. Devil got you. Could you ever have imagined? Could you ever have imagined that you would be cheering the torture of children in front of their parents? To get Al-Qaeda, of course, who publicly works for the Pentagon. Did you ever think? Let me get to the main news here before I get into the other big news. Obama, in his own official PR press releases for 16 and a half years, saying he was born in Kenya. Before I get to that, I want to get into the top story here. And to get to this news story today, and this newscast I'm going to play part of, and if you're a radio listener, it doesn't do justice unless you go and watch the video. And I'm going to have Kurt repost it on the main page. It's already scrolled off, so it was put up there early this morning. Just look at the breaking news red link, and it'll take you into the RSS feed. You can find it. 3-year-old in CPS care overprescribed psychotropic drugs. You have to see the video. You have to see her healthy, happy, running around giggling. 2 months after they have her, drooling, looks like a concentration camp victim, rotten teeth. And that's the standard deal. Because I've seen I've seen their little gravestones. I've seen their dead bodies and photos. I've opened the door when the woman's calling me saying, they're here, they're taking my baby. And you get there and the little blue-collar family's there, but they got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. And you open the door, and the cop is choking the woman, saying, sign it. And then the cop looks up, and you're looking into a demon's eyes, and they smile. because they know you can either take them there and go to prison for the rest of your life, or I then aided and abetted the evil and stood down as the wraiths took the child. I aided and abetted it right there. That's why don't ever call me and tell me I'm good and how great I am. You understand? You should be ashamed of yourself as well. Our best works are dirty rags. And again, I'm not afraid of going to prison standing up against these people. I know I've got to stand and testify so that those that are on the fence in this evil are given a choice. That's why I'm here, is so you can make a decision who you serve. It's the most important decision you're ever going to make. And you got to serve somebody, just like Bob Dylan says. You got to serve somebody. As for me and my house, I know who I serve. And watching the video, my wife was walking in while I was watching her this morning. She brought me some coffee, and she's like, oh, it's so horrible. And then we don't have fights hardly ever. We got a little bit of argument an hour later because we were upset. I came into the office. There was some problems. I blew up. And it's because this stuff gets to us. As humans, we see little humans being hurt. It's normal. I mean, you try to go up and hurt a calf in a field. Normally, docile cows are going to run you over. It's the same thing. And we're not cows, folks. We're aggressive, intelligent, powerful creatures who fought our way through so much to build a civilization only to let a subgroup of predators set up a predatory system over humanity. And I said, I've got to do a report on this today. I've got to break down how it's premeditated and why they're doing it. You know, as the epiphanies and understandings are hitting me of the years of knowledge, as I access all that data and it sweeps over me, the full spectrum of the master plan, the pain, the horror, the desire to defeat it and stop it and somehow be articulate enough to reach out to you and somehow find that lever, that switch I flip to turn humanity loose to defeat these people. And so I spent about 20 minutes and I sent these articles to the crew, but I want you to have this journey. Go to the NSA search engine, Google, or go to startpage.com. Go there and just type in foster children pesticide, foster children medical experimentation, foster children radiation experimentation, foster children dioxin experimentation, foster children sterilized, foster children dead, foster child dead, dead, foster children 5 times more likely to be abused or to be on drugs, 7 times more likely to be sexually abused. DynCorp, child trafficking rings, DynCorp, CPS contractors. Do it. Do it. Go look and see what I've seen. And this is just one avenue of what I've got to watch go on and know is going on everywhere. And I just want to find the lever to stop these people. That lever is you. You know, you Masons out there claim you're such humanitarians. You're so many times raising money for the CPS and all these groups doing, and I want you to know that. So if you claim you were good at some time in history, okay, where are you fighting this? You police claim you're so good, and when somebody kidnaps a kid, you make a big deal out of it and grandstand, and police get up there and cry and stuff. Okay, do something about this. Do something about your special units that are assigned to this in every county, in every city. I don't care what your bosses say. I don't care what anybody says. You need to do what it takes to stop it. Or you know what? You're aiding and abetting it. Just by... I feel totally guilty and horrible and dirty just fighting it for years and then getting so sick by it that I had to still talk about it on air, but back off from it. You go out and help these people. Let me tell you something. You're going to lead a cursed life. You don't have to worry about Alex Jones coming and popping you with, you know, my fist or something. Let me tell you something, folks. God's real. The world's real. What comes around goes around is real. And you know it. That's why the hair's crawling on the back of your neck right now. That's God saying, I'm knocking at the door. And if, you know, people need to come to the to the altar. And I mean in front of God, in front of goodness, in front of everything, and admit we've been evil, admit we've been wrong, and say, we're not going to put up with this anymore. CPS is the most abusive, wicked, evil system, and it's the same thing worldwide. I got articles here where they're taking people's kids in Australia. Family courts are. There's no law because they're not vaccinating, but the court says we say that's abuse, not a real court. That's in the news today. It's the same in Australia, same in Europe. It's a global standardized program where there's bounties, and each year CPS has to get more to get their roughly 30% of their funding from the feds. They also get their funding boosted by grabbing the child, and they say this on the news. When the child cries, they grab your 2-year-old, your 4-year-old, they cry, they immediately put them on hardcore Valium-type drugs and stuff even more hardcore. I mean, you read the list, antipsychotics, lithium, and the children in these videos have their tongues hanging out, rotten teeth, and stop eating and die. They actually kill them. That's why they had a CPS doctor go public 5 years ago in WOAI TV and radio. You can look that up. Foster children, prescribed psychotropic drugs, prescription drugs, WOAI, the article pops up. And they point out there, 2/3 plus are on it. And the doctor says, yeah, I've been working in the CPS for a few years. I see them bring in totally healthy 5, 6, 7-year-old children and 3-year-olds as well. And he says, within 6 months, they're on 7 drugs. Then they're having seizures from them. Then they put them on seizure drugs. Then they do brain surgery. Then they die. I mean, folks, it'd be one thing if they took them up on an altar, with black robes on and chopped their hearts out. That would be more, or just tortured them for a few hours as Satanists do. That's a loving death as they scream and beg for mommy. Just like that man did as the police beat him to death over in 10 minutes. That's a loving death compared to begging for their mommy in the dark in these facilities full of all these other kids, strapping them down, drugging them, and killing them. And I've got the articles right here. Look them up. Goes over it. 2 out of 3 foster children in Texas on psychotropic drugs, WOAI, and then you read about what they're doing to them. The average is 7. We went to the state of Texas, and in hearings, the head psychiatrist said they got bad genes. They deserve it. That clip's an Endgame. And laughed. It's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play part of this newscast when we come back. But these children are under attack right now. What are you doing to protect them? Folks, have you lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, this is going to be the most important message you'll ever hear, because there's never been a better time to get ready for the winter power outages ahead. Here's why. Solar-powered generators are now available from our friends at Solutions from Science, one of our oldest sponsors. Their emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Whether it's ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. When the power goes out this winter, you'll be ready with a solar-powered generator from Solutions from Science. Go to mysolarbackup.com for more information. That's mysolarbackup.com or call 877-327-0365.